Hey guys, welcome back to part 47 of this walkthrough. I apologize for the people who have been watching the videos as soon as I post them. My graphics card went out, I had to get a new one. Took me a lot longer than I was hoping it would. But yes, I'm back, and we're gonna finish this thing. So, the last part, I know I didn't have any commentary, it was just because I wanted to show you real quick some extra items that you could grab. So, now here we are progressing on into the story. So, first thing we're going to do is head to Cosmo Canyon. You can do this once you get to Disc 3. Make sure that you have Red 13 in your party, and we are going to get his final weapon, his strongest weapon, Limited Moon. Unfortunately, in order to get this, Bugenhagen has to die. So, I mean, one of the times I went through this, like one of the first few times I played, I didn't get this. I like to think that without getting Limited Moon, Bugenhagen lives. But, yeah, anyway, we're getting everything, so. There's going to be a little cutscene here. It shows Bugenhagen and Red 13 together one last time. And then after this, we are going to make our way through the crater. Now, I'm going to get you all the way to the bottom, and you have a choice, and this kind of depends on what you're trying to accomplish in this game. When we get to the bottom of the crater, that's when the video is going to end. You have two choices. You can either finish the game, or you can do what I do. I end up just going down there, grabbing everything, and I come back up. And the reason why is because obviously, if you've played this game before, you have two more people that you can fight, bosses, weapons, Ruby and Emerald. They are really hard, as in compared to the other people that you've fought up until this point. They're the two hardest people that you fight in the game, harder than the last boss of this game. And they're kind of a test to see how strong you really are. So what I do is I go down through the crater, I grab everything. There's also an excellent place to level up your materia. I'm going to show you that too. And then I'm going to come back up, and then what my plan is for the last few videos of this walkthrough, I'm going to show you one way I went through and beat Emerald, and then I'm going to go through and beat Ruby. And then last we will go down back into the crater and finish the game. But I'm not going to finish the game right now. But if you have no interest in doing any of the extra stuff, I would just go through and beat it. If you've done everything that I've done so far, you should have no problems going through the last step on your own if you do not want to wait. I know some of the people who have been watching this have stopped playing just so they can wait until my next video comes out. I just want to say I appreciate you guys. I'm glad that you enjoy this. I am getting absolutely nothing from this in terms of anything from YouTube, money, or anything. I am simply doing this because I love this game and I wanted to make a walkthrough that was worth watching, unlike some of the ones I've seen, which just show you how to get through the game. I am going to show you how to do everything. So now we got Red 13's final weapon. We are now going to go down into the crater. The crater is definitely the most difficult place that you're going to go to, but you also get the most stuff here. And I mean, you get a lot of stuff, which is why if you want to come back up, because you want to fight Emerald and Ruby, you still want to come down here because there's just so many things that you can get. Also, if you want that perfect game file, you have to come down here because there are a lot of things that you can only get down here in the crater. Now, it's going to make it seem like you can't come back. So if you notice, like, the rocks will fall, there will be certain times where the game wants you to think that once you get past a certain point, there's no return. That is just not true. You can get out of the crater no matter where you are, up until a certain point, and I'll show you where, but that's at the very bottom. These guys here, they're in stone right now, as you can see. That's why they're not moving. If you try to attack them when they're in stone, it'll be 0 damage. You have to wait for them to come out of their stone state. And then they have the level 4 death attack. This is an enemy skill, so you will want to have you'll want to have one person with all the enemy skills. It's going to make it a lot easier to have all your enemy skills. Have all of these at once. So find someone, just dub someone the enemy skill person, put all your enemy skills on that one person so you can get all of them. Level 4 death is one of those skills. Now moving on here to our next fight. If you come across these guys, which I guarantee you will, they have an enemy skill as well, although they will pretty much never cast it. So you'll want to be sure to have manipulation on. But these guys have the level 5 death. And the same rule applies. If you're wondering how to get those, obviously, you have to have someone whose level is divisible by 4 for the level 4 death, and then for that one, someone that is levels divisible by 5, or else it won't work. It has to hit you in order for you to learn the skill. Now when you get into this room, if you're planning on coming back up from the crater, what I would do is just go down one path and grab chests, and then when you come back up, go the opposite path. That way it's less time consuming, but I ended up grabbing all the chests at once, and I kind of wish I didn't. I wish I would have just kept going back, or kept going down into the cave. So this part is just going to be me grabbing all of the chests. This is another enemy that you should come across at some point. It is the Dark Dragon. You will, if you steal from them, you'll get a dragon armlet, which you should have plenty of by now, but if you don't, here's a place to get them. You can also get 2 enemy skills from this guy. You can get Laser, which you should already have, but if you don't, you can get it, and then also Dragon Force. So be sure to have manipulation on. You'll need it to get a lot of these enemy skills. Laser you shouldn't need, he does do that attack sometimes, but Dragon Force he will never do on you. So you'll definitely want to make sure that you have manipulation ready. Don't forget to get that HP absorb materia. It's hiding behind that wall. Now I got all the chests. I'm going to keep on going further down into the cave. If you think we've already gotten a lot of stuff, we have some really awesome stuff that we're going to get once we get further down inside. Now, if you come across these guys, I just run from them every time. Their attacks are really weak. Like you saw that, it did 106 damage. They have another one that does usually just double digits, like 12 or something. But it also has instant death attached to that. So unless you have an accessory that prevents that, they can kill you, and they can kill you quick. And I usually keep ribbons on because I find it to be more useful than something like instant death, because it only prevents you from that. The ribbon prevents all abnormal statuses. So unless you have something that prevents instant death, I would run away from those guys unless you're sure you're going to kill them right away, because they do like to retaliate with one of those instant death attacks. Don't worry about those chests that I missed. We're going to come back up and grab them later. And if you plan on not coming back up, then I'm sorry, you're going to have to wait until I get them. But I think that's later in this part anyway, so. This part here is very important. You're going to split up into groups. Make sure you do this exactly the way that I do it. There is a reason behind this. It doesn't matter who is in your party, just do this exactly how I do. You're basically going to have almost everyone go left. Tifa is going to go right. But if you follow this exactly, you will get a duplication of a couple items that are very rare that you're not supposed to have. So it's a little glitch, but it's well worth it. Now, unfortunately, because of the way we have to do this, you're forced to only have specific people in your party for this part. So here pretty much everyone is going left. Basically what's going on is on the left path there's a bunch of items that you can get, on the right path there's items that you can get, and your group members grab items also along the way. They're also assuming that you're not going to go the other path and grab those items as well, and when you do this exact combination, it makes it so you can grab items that your your party grabbed for you as well, giving you 2 of them instead of 1. So I'm going to head left first, and then we're going to have to do this split again. And you want to do this part exactly the same way I do as well. Now, having done it this way, we're going to go down into this part of the cave first. We're going to make our way through everything. And yes, unfortunately, you will have Cait Sith in your party for this part. So once you set up your guys, you will also have Vincent in your party, but I like Vincent, so that was okay. Set them up however you feel will be the best way. The Zedrix are really nice, although you don't have, it depends on how much materia you're trying to have on your character right now. There, like I said, there's a place in here I'm going to show you where you can rack up AP for your materia super fast, so I'm not really concerned about leveling up my materia at this point. I just need to make sure I get through here alive. Okay, for now, I'm running away from this guy. He is somewhat important if you are able to have, if you have a strong morph at this point and you're able to morph him, you should definitely do so, because you can morph him into a ribbon. Right now you probably only have 2 ribbons, so in order to get 3 or your 99 or whatever, you morph that guy and he will get you a ribbon. But he is very powerful. He has a move called Everyone's Grudge that does exactly how many enemies you've killed times like 100 or something like that. So if you've killed a lot of enemies in this game, he will do a lot of damage to you. Now if you saw there, I was right at the waterfall. You can get a materia, it's hiding behind there, it's the magic counter. Be sure you pick that up, you cannot see it. This part coming up here is a little tricky. It usually takes me a few tries before I get it. Now you see that pink orb that's hovering in the air? Well, this one is hard to get because as soon as Cloud lands on that island, he jumps to the next one. So you have to hit circle at the exact time that you get onto there, and then you'll grab the materia. It's the Mega All Materia. It's an awesome one, so you want to be sure that you get it. It's just a little tricky grabbing it, so just be sure to hit circle as soon as you land on that thing, or maybe even slightly before, and you should get it. Now once we get here, we're basically at the bottom of the cave, but do not go any further than that chest. Just grab the chest, and then we're going to head all the way back, which is why I fast forward this. So we're going to go all the way back to where we came from, and if you remember when we got into that second room where you split the party the second time, we're going to go back to that place, except this time we're going to go into the room that we didn't go in before. So here we are back at this room where we split the party again. This time we're going to go up and down this pathway instead. Now right in this area is where I got my Kiss of Death. It's one of the rarest items in the game. It's from the Jokers. I do have a separate video on just me getting the Kiss of Death. If you're subscribed to me, it's in my videos. It should be pretty easy to find. I fought the Jokers a lot, and I came up with this certain way of attacking them, and I have no idea if it helped or not, but I thought that it might, and I did it and I ended up getting it. So I don't know if it was just blind luck or there was some truth behind my logic, but I would just watch that video if you want to get that item. Just watch it, try doing exactly what I do, and hopefully you'll get it. Now when you come across this enemy, before you even go down this path, make absolutely sure you have your enemy skills equipped, and I mean all of them. or else you might screw yourself over. So what's going to happen here is this guy will cast Pandora's box, which is the very last enemy skill. It's fairly powerful. It's an all, usually does like 3,000 or 4,000 to your enemies. Here's the catch though. This enemy will only cast it one time, ever. So if you ever fight him again, he will never ever cast it. So, for example, if he were to cast it right now, he will never, which he's going to. Here it is, Pandora's box. If I did not have my enemy skills equipped right now, I would never get this enemy skill. I would have to start over from my last save point. Because it doesn't matter how many times you come across this enemy, he will never cast this again. It's something weird that they did, but nevertheless, just be sure that you have all your enemy skills equipped. You'll be fine. As you see, I just learned Pandora's box. It takes a lot of MP to use. I think it's like 110. But as you can see, there it is on there, Pandora's box. So yeah, getting back to the Jokers. The Jokers are what you fight to get the Kiss of Death. And the Kiss of Death, the reason why it's one of the rarest items in the game is because it's just a drop. You can't steal it from them, you can't morph them, you can't manipulate them. You just have to hope that after you fight them, and here are the Jokers right here. You just have to hope that after you fight them, they drop one. You get one as your one of the items won. And it took me a long time before they actually dropped one. And for some reason, I just tried coming up with different ways to attack them, thinking that maybe that might help with them dropping it. So you'll want to check out that video if you want that item, and just do exactly what I did in fighting them, and hopefully it'll work for you. If not, you may just have to fight them a bunch of times before they give it to you. And as you can see, I did not get it. It would have shown up right there. So here they are again. I just wanted to show you another attempt of me fighting these guys, trying to get that Kiss of Death item and not being successful. Kiss of Death, though, by the way, it casts death on all of your enemies, and it has a decent success rate. Also, what you get from these guys is the enemy skill Roulette. And unfortunately, you just have to be, like, I got lucky, and the very first time he cast Roulette, it happened to land on Kate Sith, who had all of my enemy skills attached. So I didn't have to worry about trying to get that again. But like I said before, you just want to pick someone who has all the enemy skills, and then when you come across those guys, let them cast Roulette, and hopefully you'll get lucky, and it'll pick that particular person. Otherwise, it's an automatic death. So, unfortunately, it will probably miss that person a couple times, and it'll kill someone else, and you'll have to revive them. But that is just what you gotta do if you want to get that enemy skill. And as you can see, we made it back to this point. We've been here before, and we get to go all the way back like we did last time. I'm just going to fast forward because you've seen me do that before. Now this time we're going to go into this entrance. We have not been here yet. This is my favorite spot to be in the game. And the reason why is because of these guys right here, the magic pots. Do not try and attack them right now. They're going to ask you for an elixir, and you give it to them. Give them the elixir. Elixirs are a rare item, but with the W item duplication glitch, you can get as many of them as you want. If you don't feel like doing that glitch, you can always get them from certain items, or from certain enemies, and from the Chocobo races. But as you can see, I just got 2,000 AP. That is a lot of AP for one battle. And if you have the triple on, like I have Cloud's Apocalypse on, which triples the AP, that's 6,000 AP for whatever materia I have equipped on that sword right now. One of them, of course, is Knights of the Round. So, as you can see, this is by far the best place to level up stuff like Knights of the Round, for example, because that materia in particular takes a very long time to master. And this greatly speeds up the process. There is also another enemy in here. Very rare though. There is an enemy in the same area as the magic pots. It's just 3 little orange dots, and they bounce around. They don't do anything special, and you don't have to do anything special to kill them. You just kill them, and they also give you a ton of AP. They actually give you even more than the magic pots. So if you come across 3 orange bouncing balls, you're in luck, because those guys will also give you a ton of AP. So if you want to level up your materia, come down here. You will run into the magic pots or those orange balls usually every other fight. So you have a good chance of fighting them. It's not like they only show up once in a blue moon. You can also find them in this room here, but these are the only 2 areas where you will find the orange balls or the magic pots. And like I said before, if you try and attack a magic pot before giving it an elixir, it's been a long time since I've done it, but I believe they steal something from you, from your inventory, and then they disappear. So just be sure not to even mess with it. Just as soon as you see them, give them an elixir, and then attack them. So here, once again, I just wanted to show you the process that you do when you come across these magic pots. It's pretty simple. Just toss them each an elixir. Do not use a mega elixir also, I want to stress that. If you give them a mega elixir, it doesn't count. It counts as nothing. So if you find 2 magic pots and you think just giving them 1 mega elixir will work, it won't. You have to give them an elixir, each their own individual elixir. So you see we just got the Imperial Guard. I believe that is one of the... Actually, I know that is one of the pieces of armor that you're only supposed to get 1 of, but because we had people go in that specific order that I did earlier, we're going to get 2 Imperial Guards. So I usually spend a few hours in this area leveling up my materia. I'm going to do that later or I did that later on my own time. We're just going to move on here. Here we get the W magic materia, which of course, like all the other W's, it lets you cast 2 magic spells in 1 turn, which is very nice. And then there is a materia at the very bottom of this bright light. It is counter. And then as you see, we get here to the bottom of the cave once again. And now you'll get reunited with all your party members again. This is where they give you the items that they found on the pathways that we just took. So this is where you get your doubles of some items. You just have to go up to each one of them and talk to them. So there's our second Imperial Guard. You're only supposed to get 1 in this area. And you're not supposed to get Mithril. So we got Mithril and another Imperial Guard. And then these other items, we got 2 of, another shield. Vincent and Kate Sith were with us, so they're not going to give us anything. And then of course, Yuffie, being stingy, doesn't want to give you this, but then you get your second counter. So now, just so you know, if you go down further than this, you cannot go back. So if you choose to go down that arrow, the game is essentially over for you. You will have to finish the game. So for me, I am going to go back up and leave the cave. We're going to grab those last couple chests too that I missed on the way down. And this guy again, I believe he has around 45,000 HP, which is quite a bit. But if you are trying to morph him, you'll want to get him down about 40,000 before you try and even attempt to morph him, just so you're not spending a bunch of time. Because not only does he retaliate with that everyone's grudge move, if you notice, he slowly walks around the battleground. Eventually he's going to walk up right next to you and he's going to stab you. And when he stabs you with his knife, you're instantly dead. So just keep that in mind if you're going to try and morph him. You want to do it somewhat quick. Now if you notice here, this is where we first stopped and split into groups. I like putting my save crystal here. It's one of the first chests that you got when we got in here. It basically lets you save at any point somewhere as long as it's in the cave or the crater here. So I think this is the best place because it's right next to where you can go to level up your materia. So you have a save point right there, and it's right in between the paths, and it's right next to where you go if you want to go up. So if you're coming up or down, as soon as you get to that point, you can save right there. You can put it wherever you want, but I have always thought that that was the most logical place to put it. So now we're making our way back up the crater, so I'm going to grab these last couple chests that I missed before. So we're going to jump up. And then once we get up, we're going to fall down. and that will let us get to this chest, and then when we come through this pathway, it will take us to the other chest that we missed. After that, you should have almost everything. We're just going to come around this little loop here and grab this power source, and that should be all the chests in the crater, or all the items and stuff that you can get. Now we should be able to leave without worrying about missing anything. So in the next part, I'm going to basically go and whoop up on Emerald. Keep in mind though, I'm not going to show you this, but I spent, I don't even know how many hours in that one room leveling up my materia. It's great for, I mean, not only just the big ones. I mean, there's certain materias that I like having many of, and the only way to do that is if you master them and then a new one comes. So it's nice to, for example, a counterattack. Every time you get hit, they counter with a basic attack. Well, if you were to have, say, 8 of those mastered, when someone hits you, you're going to attack them back 8 times. So imagine if every character on your party had 8 mastered counterattacks. Now that would take a long time. You'd have to master 24 of them. But just imagine that for a second. If an enemy attacked any one of your characters, they're going to counter with 8 attacks, just back to back to back to back to back. There's a lot of really cool combinations that people have come up with, I've seen. So I'm going to show you some of mine when I go against Emerald. But yeah, I mean, if you can level up your materia super fast, you should do it, because, and not only that, you can get the magic, the master magic, master summon, master command, and if you master everything, 3 times, you'll get 3 of them, which means each character can have a master summon, a master magic, and a master command at the same time. I spent quite a few hours down there, and then after that took on Emerald. I'm gonna have to make a video on Ruby still, but I will throw that into the next part. Once again, sorry that this took so long to put up, but just to show you how anxious I was. It's 1:30 in the morning right now. I just got home. I have to work in the morning, but I wanted to make this and put this out as fast as I could. So I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you guys next time.